This is how to prepare for D&D. Whether it's your first session, your last session, or anywhere in between, I'm going to give you 3 tips that will take you from Dungeon Minion to Dungeon Master. Let's go. Hi, Bob here, and welcome to Bob World Builder. Many of the wonderful folks like you who are subscribed to this channel are new DMs and players, or have been into D&D for a long time, but are new to 5e. So wherever you're at in your Dungeons & Dragons journey, these 3 simple guidelines are going to keep you on track and make your next session the best one yet. Number 1, actually prepare something. You may have noticed a trend these days about how to prepare a D&D session fast, in 1 hour, in 0 hours. And these are all actually great videos, by the way. But it's obvious to people with high wisdom scores like you watching this video that there's a bit of an art and a bit of a science to crafting a beautiful session that your players will remember forever. So if you're running D&D out of a module, read the module. Let me say that again. If you're running a module, read the module. Read it twice, take notes, watch some videos. You know, I heard there is a great series that covers every quest in the Dragon of Icespire Peak. And no, you don't have to read the whole thing up front. But it really does help. At the very least, you have to know who's the bad guy or the source of conflict, what do they want, and what are they willing to do to get it. These 3 little pieces of information will give you so much to work with. And here's a funny story to drive this one home. Last year, Free RPG Day, Grace and I go to our friendly local game store for some Ghosts of Saltmarsh. We meet everybody, we get into the session, and the DM explains there's an evil cult, and we've either got to make a deal or just get rid of them. When Grace, in character, asks, "Who does this evil cult worship?" Pretty simple question, right? Should have a pretty simple answer, right? Well, the DM spent the next 10 minutes flipping through the book, clearly frustrated with themselves, and we never got an answer. So whether you're using a module or running homebrew or some awesome mashup of adventures, prepare. Go at your own pace and know the bad guys and creatures in your adventure. Their AC, HP, attacks, spells. Nobody wants to sit through a combat where you have to fact check every single spell that is cast, and just have a basic physical description, maybe a line of dialogue, and if they're an NPC, please know their name. The best part, you don't have to memorize any of this stuff. Write it down or have some tabs open on your phone, tablet, laptop, whatever. You've studied, you've prepared, you will be great. But what about when your tablet is stuck in an update, your phone is on 1% battery, and a kobold ate your notebook? You turn to tip number 2. Be flexible. Oh, that bad guy you spent hours preparing for, making notes of all their spells and features, and workshopping that evil monologue. Your party doesn't care. They just met a charismatic Aarakocra bard named Barty McFly and just want to hang out with him while the countryside burns at the hands of your big bad evil guy. Okay, let's work with it. The biggest mistake a DM can make is trying to guess which hook they will take. And not subscribing to Bob World Builder? Oh, thank you, Barty. Seriously though, 90% of gameplay is made up on the spot. The only guarantee is for your party to do something you did not expect. So embrace the chaos. Practicing to create on the fly will make you a great dungeon master. And this doesn't mean you have to take an improv class and always use yes and, which is probably something you've been told to do. Instead, I recommend yes but to entertain your players' ideas, but also rein them in with reasonable consequences and links to what you have prepared. Example, you gave your party a town map and they just asked, "What's in that unlabeled building?" Because they always want to know what's in the unlabeled buildings. So just follow your instincts. Does it look like a house? Okay. Is it brick or stone? What's the roof made of? Does the chimney have any smoke? Yeah. Okay, so who would be home? Fast forward. Your party has either been arrested for breaking and entering, or they're enjoying some tea while talking to the old fellow who lives there. Aaron, we'll call him, about how this town has changed and the neighbor stopped sweeping their porch over a month ago and nobody's done anything about it. Old man Aaron doesn't know that neighbor had a little too much information on your bad guy, which the players might find if they go over to investigate. And hey, if your party got arrested, guess who their new cellmate is? That neighbor with too much information on your bad guy. Entertain, then pull the reins. It takes practice, but it is that simple. And if you're completely stumped, literally ask a player, what do you want the NPC's name to be? Now you might end up with some very silly NPC names, but your party will love those silly NPCs. And all this is way easier if you've done number 1 and you have a short list of names and a basic idea of what the town and its people look like and feel like and even smell like. Smells like tip number 3, take notes. Now, you might hear take notes and think, how is that session preparation if it's something I'm doing during a session? Well, inquisitive and logical viewer, you need to take notes so you can review them when prepping the next session. What did the party do? Who did they meet? What did they like or dislike? And just ask your players at the end of the session, what was their favorite part? What was their least favorite part? And where do they want the adventure to go next? Remember, they probably won't go that way, but it gives you the framework you need to make your next session the best one yet. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend, and let me know your top tips for session prep. Thank you to the Bob World Builder patrons who chose this topic, and to David Hobbs for joining Patreon this week. Thank you for your support, thank you for watching, and keep building.